So welcome everybody to this presentation for the launching of the certification of Great Place to Study. My name is Andrea Ferrari. I'm the global CEO for Great Place to Study. And my colleague, Gabriela Gonzalez Pacheco, who's the VP for Latin America, we're super excited to onboard Great Place to Study at King's College. It's a really exciting moment in education now to work towards the well-being of our educational communities and the happiness of our students. So with that, Great Place to Study is the first certification that can actually measure the level of satisfaction of our communities and work towards the well-being of all of its members. So welcome parents and administrators. We want to tell you a little bit more about how Great Place to Study works. Actually, the certification was born in the UK out of our founders in India. Why the UK? Because of Skill Tree Knowledge Consortium, the research and investigation technological firm responsible for the platform that we work with that processes all of our data. Important to know because it is through the data that we configure the well-being pulse and happiness pulse of the school. So what does it actually do? It measures through this data, gives us an understanding about well-being, because we know today that when children and students feel good, of course, they learn much better. So it becomes a priority. And this is something we already knew, right, Gabriela? Just the pandemic kind of accelerated this.
Yeah, something that is important to point out is that research in education was already pointing us in this direction. And after the pandemic happened, it just became more evident. So it is truly important for schools to prioritize well-being in order to help students achieve their academic goals. For a long time, it was believed that schools should not necessarily be that involved in this matter. And as things have been progressing, we realized that no, it is, because it is a basic tool that we have in school in order to help students learn and have a true, well-rounded development that will ensure their success. So yes, we need to create a culture of evaluation that will help schools have a diagnostic that lets them know how they're doing. What you don't measure, you cannot manage. So absolutely, that's where the importance and the relevance comes from. So it's something that we just need to keep in mind. And this is what the certification does. This is where it comes from. It was born in 2012, as Andrea was saying, but it has been growing and expanding, and it has reached Latin America, and we've been working closely with schools to help them do this. I think it's to be commended that the school is so committed to, safeguarding the well-being of all the members in the community, knowing that our truest strength is community. If we want to go through this period of adjustment and growth and crisis that has been for us, in the past year, it has to go through this. So what it means, for King's College to be going through the certification process, it just speaks highly on the commitment that they have towards your well-being. Yes, I think Nigel, you want to say something?
Yes, thank you, Gabrielle. I just want to put this into context from the school leadership. We are obviously, as you know, as parents, we're doing the Wellbeing Award at King's College, and that's one strand of our concern about student well-being. As we come back to more of a normal full-time class environment, it's becoming very apparent that, I think I mentioned it in my Panama post last week, that there are lots of things that are coming up to the surface with student well-being, and to a lesser degree with staff well-being. Although our teachers seem to be made of iron, they're incredibly resilient. But I think we also have to be aware of their well-being as well. And we're almost exactly halfway between our two inspections. So there is a parent survey in the British inspection that we go through. We're halfway through the period between our last inspection in 2019 and our next inspection in early 2023. So I thought this would be a good pulse check, really, of where the school is at. And also because Andrea, Gabriella, and myself are very keen on this being something that all of our schools in the Americas go through as well. I mean, it's such a great mover of well-being and openness in our schools. I mean, I saw the effect this has had in our school in Colombia, San Mateo. So it was a really good. It was I suppose, no-brainer to put it in King's College, Panama as well. So that really puts it in context from my side. Thank you, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Joe. That's amazing. We really enjoy hearing how it connects deeper into the community and the work that's already being done. We know this for a fact, as we've had several opportunities to come into contact with the different programs and leaders of the programs that King's College is embracing, Dr. Deborah Eyre, of course, and we really admire the work that the whole community has been doing. And it's come time now to acknowledge that in light of such a certification that can vouch for already the amazing things that are taking place at King's College, and those things or the way forward as to different areas that might consider improvement as you're working in between your different inspections, correct? So who's going to participate in the evaluation? It's the teachers, the students, their parents, and of course the alums, and that is of course optional, right? We love to include alums if and when there is an alum club and the alums are a part of the community, so we always welcome them.
There is the beginnings of alumnus network that was started when we were part of King's Group, and I know that Astrid has some contact, but that's in the early days. But there is the possibility that we're going to reach out to the alumni, isn't there, Astrid? Sorry about the noise. It's lunchtime here. I'm just going to shut my door.
Don't worry.
Mr. Jose, so yeah, that was actually something that I discussed with Gabriela yesterday, and I mentioned to her that from the past cohort, we did not have the personal emails. So she suggests that it's something that we can do in the future, maybe, but not right now.
Yes, that's correct. And also it's important to note that this process of evaluation is not something that is going to take, a lot of time. It's just it's a moment that we're asking the community to take and just reflect on what has the experience been like, and it's just answering questions that will give us very valuable information about that, and it will help the school have a plan of growth of which are the things that are working and need to continue to be reinforced, and what are some of the things that might need adjusting and changing from everyone's perspective. That's why it's important to have different points of view, different voices, and we will have the students, we will have the teachers, we will have the parents, and yes, of course, if it's at all possible, we can include the alums, but if not, it is quite enough that we have every member that is, actively involved in the community for the moment. And it can help us find out about these key performance indicators that we have right there. Something to note is that when the certification started, we were not in a pandemic world where virtual learning was part of the day-to-day. But now we are. So one KPI was added, which is the digital learning. But together with that, the questions will be related to the learning experience, the infrastructure that the school has and helps and enhances the experience, the life on campus, which is what we call all the relationships and interactions within the community, students with peers, students with teachers, parents, etc. Right? And of course, we have all those programs that complement the academic development, that fall within the extracurricular activities, and something that is very important for us as a certification, which is called the happiness quotient. The happiness quotient tells us by the thorough analysis that the software that is employed uses, it tells us what are the most relevant of all of these KPIs for the community, no? In order to prioritize what are some of the things that need to be
Gabriela,
focused on. Yes, sorry, go ahead, Andrea.
one moment. As you're explaining the KPIs and the factors that bring the highest satisfaction and those that cause maybe low satisfaction or insatisfaction, I see a hand up, and I wanted to just pause there for a moment. I believe it's Erica. Erica, please.
Hi, I was the part of the evaluation. I would like to suggest something. I don't know if it's the same. Sorry, maybe you don't hear well. In the previous evaluation we had to put our names. Children had to put their names. And I know because I am the committee from parents and the wellbeing committee. So I would suggest that maybe no name is on the evaluations.
Thank you.
Because sometimes you're more honest when you don't know.
Definitely.
So it's just a suggestion because I saw that in the previous one, and maybe some people don't want to answer because your name is going to be there.
Absolutely.
This is an added value, and what a great point. An added value of Great Place to Study is that we are an external evaluator. However, what we measure is from the internal voices of the community, and those voices to us is very important that they are kept anonymous so that the voices can actually be authentic, right? We want to pursue the opinions, the comments, and the experience as it's taking place and how it has been lived throughout the journey, the schooling journey of the families, of the students, and of the teachers. So yes, data privacy is actually a huge part of how we work and how we give back all of this information in order to reach the highest possible level of participation, and also the authentic information and the data that will become very, very relevant as it's then handled by the leadership team in order to prioritize the areas that need to have attention to better, to continue to improve, I would say. So having said that, we are very careful in how we collect the data. We will not take anybody's names or emails. The way that we provide access to the evaluation is via a link. We provide 3 sets of links, one for parents, one for students, and one for the teachers, correct? However, each of you will have a unique user login. The user login, important to note, it will be the same for the student as the parents, so there is no confusion there, correct? And through your user login, you will access by clicking on the link that will be provided to you by way of an email or a message. The communication will come from behalf of the school itself. So worry not, dear Erica, and thank you for your comment and your question there. They help us to illustrate the importance of the anonymity of the program. So once you enter, right, via your link, and you administer your user code right here in the red circle, you will be invited to read once more the terms and conditions and click. If you access them, you will see a lot about the data privacy and how important this is for Great Place to Study. Yes.
That is exactly right. And something that is important to know is that the school provides us the access code so they can be uploaded to the platform, but it does not provide any identifiers to those codes, all right? So there's absolutely no way that the school would have access to that, or for us to understand, to be able to connect it with, I'm sorry, this is moving along faster than I want. Hold on a minute. And so if you see it, it's something that is quite simple. It would take at the most half an hour to go through the evaluation. So, and in the case of parents, you can start it at some point and then maybe stop if something comes up and you can't continue at that moment, and then pick it up where you left off and continue answering the questions. Something that is important in the case that you have more than one child, all right, when you're answering the evaluation, it's important that you answer the evaluation according to the access code of your child. So when you go in here in this screen, and let me go back one more, and you put the access code that you're typing in is the one about your student. And right now some of you were sharing, no, maybe you have one in year 9 and then another one in year 5. Okay, so when you put in the access code, you need to put in the access code of the student of, let's say, year 9. And when you go through the answers, you just need to keep in mind that you're answering for that section. Obviously, it's not the same, no, for the student who is in middle school than the one that is in high school. So all the answers that you're going to be giving us will give an insight into this. This is important because the school will get a lot of information that will be specifically analyzed and cross-referenced within all of the different participants, all right? So this is important. And as you go along answering the questions, it's very simple. You just click to answer. Sometimes you need to click on next to follow to the next question. Your progress will be here so that you know how far along have you gone and how much more you need before you're done. I'm sorry, Andrea, you were going to say something?
No, I was just wondering if you clarified that it's one evaluation per child in the family. You did mention that, correct? So if a family has 3 children, one's in grade 5, one's in grade 10, and one's in grade 12, then we would fill one evaluation form per student. And the way you can do it is as a couple with your partner, or you can decide who wants to take a shot at it depending on how involved you are in the different levels, correct? So just to clarify that.
And also it's important that if at some point you want to go back and change your answer, you can do so while the evaluation is still open. Once the evaluation is done, you can't go back, obviously, no? But while you're answering, if you have you want to change an answer, you can do so, all right? Once it's finished, then that's it, that's all we need. So something that is really important when we're talking about participation is we need everyone to get involved and give us their feedback, okay? That feedback starts, to build all of the perspectives that we need the school in order to guide them for this project of enhancement and growth that the school will be able to just figure out. I think I'm going to pause here and see if there are any questions. It's something that is quite simple, but idea. Yeah, it's always good to clarify.
I see somebody, when you say Nadine, you're in reception, that means you're in the lower grade, correct? Is that preschool, kindergarten? So just to make a little note, we encourage the entire community to follow along. You're all included, and to be aware of this very important moment with our evaluation and certification. However, just to comment, we are not opening the evaluation for neither students of the very little ones or the parents. Reason being, Great Place to Study takes the pulse or the measurement. It's more of the life experience that has gone on, and those families and students that have gone through the different grade levels and experienced the trajectory of being schooled at King's, we do know and we do understand that in each grade level, different times of the year, we'll come across at least a 10% of newcomers in the different sections of the school, which adds to the mix of incorporating different perspectives of such experience. So do not be surprised if you're not receiving a link yourself, dear, who is it in reception? Nadine, dear Nadine, because we are concerned with measuring the full experience, or at least from upper primary, correct? And we do want the students to engage without needing support of parental support or teacher support, so that their answers are authentic as well. So those are the reasons. I hope I've been clear enough, and please do ask any questions. We are here to help, and we will be accompanying you through the process. The duration of the process is 7 days. So the window of opportunity to participate is from Friday. We begin this Friday, Friday the 10th actually, and we close the evaluation the following Friday. So we give you the entire weekend, and then what is left of the next week. And like Gabriela explained,
Andrea, I'm sorry, the platform is open for 7 days. That would close on Thursday.
okay.
So it's from the 10th to the 16th. So you have 7 days, and with a weekend, which helps out so that, especially because during the weekdays, it's maybe more rushed and you have more things that keep you busy. But as we said, it only takes 30 minutes, and we will be sending all of you the PDF with the instructions on how to do this, or any information that you might need to go through the evaluation process. Once the process is done, we have a couple of weeks to work on analyzing all of the information and getting back to the school with all the data thoroughly analyzed, and in a way that helps them pinpoint what are some of the growth that needs to happen. And certainly the things that are being well done and that the community needs to continue. Okay, questions again? No? Anyone who has any questions? I think we didn't do the bilingual very well because only the presentation was in Spanish and the rest was in English. We're so sorry for that. But
that's fine, because you put up the slides in Spanish, no? And I think that's one way that we can be helpful to everyone. But we do welcome questions, and we thank you for being present today and for this opportunity. It's an exciting time in education to really vouch for the happiness of our communities and forge the way forward in improving the level of well-being of our students, our teachers, and our parents. So we want to thank Nigel for the vision and sharing this, the possibility with us. So thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Astrid.
One more thing I think important to mention is that we're going to be making this recording available by this afternoon, and that way, if you know of other parents obviously that were not able to attend, then you can share it via WhatsApp, via an email, whatever, so that they can have the information and just be able to participate with all the awareness.
Just stepping in, I just note there's only 12 people on the call, including ourselves. So just a bit concerned, as with any survey, that the more participants, the more people that respond, or the more respondents, the better. So we're going to send out a recording, but I'm just very conscious that it's the end of term and we want to sort of get the message out. For our parents, any thoughts or suggestions on how we can get the message out more quickly to everybody to make sure that people know that this is a great opportunity to give some feedback?
Nigel, in past, and sorry to interrupt, some schools, some of our schools have a homeroom parent who is in charge of communicating to that particular class or group or section, and they do use a WhatsApp messaging system, which is quite immediate.
Informal groups.
Yeah, that person could then transmit the link, and that way all those parents could have the link. The parent would have their unique code, which the school needs to convey to them. So that's
we also have
we
some
can get
images.
the link out as well, but I'm just thinking if people on the call could share the link with the WhatsApp, so I can see Luana. That's great, thank you. Just to get the message out there. More people the merrier with these things. And then with the staff, we're going to announce it to the teachers. I want to mention it to them in verbally on Friday morning. We have their staff morning briefing on Friday morning, so all the teachers will get the information then.
Nigel, something else that's worked really well for us is to open the evaluation for staff and for students within a block of time at school.
Yeah.
So maybe when they come in first thing in the morning, and then there's an address by the teacher in front of the group talking about the importance of well-being and happiness, and this is why the evaluation is being carried out. You open the 30-minute period, and then teacher and students do it together. Just if there's any technological glitch, which we could tend to, like I said, we're going to be accompanying you throughout the process. And for parents, the same. I don't know if parents get together or have different meeting times. It could be an open window during the time when you gather, or PTA is always helpful in terms of getting the word out. But certainly, as Luana said, to share in the chat, certainly something that will benefit everybody who becomes involved, and the community at large. Great.
No, lovely. Well, I mean, obviously Matt, Joe and myself have talked about how we're going to get the students to respond, but and that'll be relatively easy, but I think if parents could help with that, that'd be great. That's great from Gabriella. Thank you so much. That's lovely. Oh, from Gabriella. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, those images can be used as a posting or as in a newsletter, right, Gabi?
Yeah, I think as many options as we have, let's just use all of them in order to get the word out and just get parents involved, especially because this is the moment for parents to say what's happening, to say, to give them a voice, and to help the school grow in the way that it needs to. So definitely just for the parents that are here, if you can just send that message out, it will really help. And of course, the recording will get to you as soon as we can, and just get through all that. But I think more than the recording, it's just the word of mouth, no?
Absolutely. And we will obviously do our bit with the school's communication structures as well. So
you have our WhatsApp, Nigel. Please share it with whomever, Astrid, and we'll be filtering whatever questions and queries come our way.
Ah, perfect. Will do.
Okay. Amazing.
Excellent.
Well, a great way to kick off the Tuesday on this very happy note. Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you so much, guys. Lovely to see you, and thank you, parents and colleagues, for coming on the call as well.